Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Sean's Horror Corner. As always, I know I say it every time, but thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys watching, commenting, liking, sharing, hyping, all the things that you can do. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing, and I really do appreciate the support. Um, so excited again. I told you he was going to be back. So, Brendan, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you very much. Yes, you got me co-hosting for like the next week and a half almost.
I know at this point, I almost feel like I need to change the name of the channel or something. It's like Sean and Brendan's Horror Corner or something at this point. But that's
Yeah.
all right. We got some fun stuff to talk about. So, and today we're going to keep going with the Scream franchise. Going to be talking about Scream 5 or just Scream 5 Cream, whatever you want to call it, the next one in the franchise. Um, had we talked a little bit about both of us, our opinion had changed to the previous one. You feel like your opinion's been up and down on this one as well? Are you pretty steady on what you think?
It has changed quite a bit. So I really enjoyed it the first time I watched it. Um I wasn't that big a fan the last time I watched it. I was like, oh, maybe it was just kind of overrated, and I feel like maybe the glossiness of it being like the first Scream movie in what 11 years.
Yeah, it had been a while.
I
Yeah,
was
because this came out in
yeah
2022. So yeah.
yeah, exactly 11 years. I was like, oh, it kind of maybe faded off and kind of not interested anymore. And then I watched it again Sunday, and I was like, okay, it's not as bad as what I thought it was. Like, not in a bad sense. It's just a
Yeah.
little less enjoyable.
Okay.
I do think that it still holds some issues,
Okay.
and yeah, overall, I think it's fine. I think it's a pretty decent Scream movie in an entry, especially it's not written by Kevin Williamson. Um it's not no longer directed by Wes Craven, of course. It's now
Right.
directed by Radio Silence.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, my opinions have been up and down with this movie for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of there with you, but yeah, we'll get into that. On the last episode that we did, you kind of helped up my opinion a little bit of the last one, so we're gonna see how this goes too. And but this will be fun. Tagline for the film: It's always someone you know. Brief synopsis for the movie: 25 years after a streak of brutal murders shocked the quiet town of Woodsboro, a new killer has donned the ghost face mask and begins targeting a group of teenagers to resurrect secrets from the town's deadly past. Released January 14th of 2022. Directed by I'm probably going to mess up these names: Tyler Gillette and Matt Bettinelli Open, I believe is how you say it. Written by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. Distributed by Paramount Pictures. 114-minute runtime. $24 million budget. $138 million at the box office, so did very well. Just a few members of the cast, of course: Nev Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, but we also have Melissa Barrera, Mason Gooding, Jenna Ortega, Jack Quaid. I'll stop there. Um, let's mix it up a little bit. So normally I ask you about like cinematography, score, story, that kind of thing first. Let's change that. Let's talk cast and characters first. Give me your thoughts on like the cast and the characters for this one.
Okay. Um. Oh, casting characters. I think the legendary characters are fine. I think David Arquette is progressed the best as a character in this movie. I actually don't mind Gale in this one,
Yeah.
surprisingly. Sydney, I think, could have stayed out of this movie. Um,
Okay.
Again, I'm not gonna lie. Gale and Sydney are thrown in like their progression as a characters. They all make sense.
Right.
I won't get into my story beat hates on for it yet, but all their character progressions and where they are now at the beginning of this film seem legit. Like, of course, Dewey would be devastated
Yeah.
by losing Gale in the divorce, which I actually think was another good choice for Officer Dewey and Gale as well. Melissa Barrera as Sam and Tara Carpenter, I think, are pretty solid sisters. Richie, I like Jack Quaid, man. I think
Okay.
Jack Quaid's a pretty decent actor. I think he's quite charming. I do like the flip of the switch he has. Um, I knew he was going to be a powerhouse after watching like the first season of The Boys.
Yeah.
and he definitely has no stopping. Like he's doing it for sure.
Right.
You know, you get Count Gallner is a in this movie as well, and he's a huge horror alumni.
Yeah.
He was definitely thrown in there in this movie 100%.
Yeah.
No reason in particular. Mason Gooding, I think, is also quite charming in this movie. Um, you get Mindy Meeks. I thought she was fine as well. Dylan Minnette as Wes Hicks. Again, fell in love with his acting during 13 Reasons Why. I thought he was very good in that show.
Right.
And to see him come in and be in a Scream movie, I was um, quite excited for that. And I don't mind his character either. I think he was pretty good. I think the only character I don't like in this movie is Liv.
Okay.
Just because
Fair.
again, she's that one character who's introduced and then she's like gone for half the movie, and then she shows up in the third act for little to no reason other than it's just like the party scene, right? So
Right.
Liv was the only character that drove me nuts. Deputy Hicks or Sheriff Hicks in this one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed her again in this movie, and I don't know if you had the chance. Oh, I guess we watched this like way before that, but our recording for the first one. But The Walk.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go back and look yet, but I'm definitely going to. I made a note to go back and watch that. So yeah,
she does it 100%. It's a character choice that she chose to do. I think all the acting from everybody is top notch. Nobody's bad. Everybody gives it their all. Yeah. Martha, is it who's the other? I'm missing one of the girls in this movie. Amber.
Yes, Amber.
Amber. She's good as well. I mean, her big break was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I believe.
Okay.
Which I have not seen yet, but I've seen the sequence that she's in, and it makes sense that she would be cast in this movie as that character. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, she gives it her all. I think everybody's great.
Yeah, I agree with you almost all the way across the board. I think everybody does a really solid job. I don't think anybody's performances are bad. I don't have the problem with Sheriff Hicks now in this movie that I had in the previous one. Gail's fine. I get where she's at. I think I'm over Gail at this point, but she's not as big an issue in this one for me as she's been in some of the previous ones. I agree. I like some of the decisions they made here between Gail and Dewey, and probably just because I'm such a big Nev Campbell and Sydney fan, I like her being in there. But I see your point. I think here as well for me. I heard a lot of people when this one first came out. A lot of people criticized Melissa Barea's performance. I don't think her performance is bad. Like, I don't know where some of that criticism came from. I thought she was fine. And I'm a big Jenna Ortega fan. The whole Wednesday series, I had zero interest in watching that. I just did not think it would be that great at all. But after watching it, I thought Jenna Ortega nailed it. So I'm a fan of hers. I like her being in this. I think everything's pretty solid. There's only one character for me as well that I don't really like, and it has nothing to do with performances. I just don't like the character, and that's Amber. But the performance is fine. I'm just not a big fan of that particular character. But everything else I think is very solid. What about the cinematography, score, story, that kind of thing for this one?
Yeah, so I actually didn't make any notes for any of these.
That's okay.
Any of these categories, but I do feel like Radio Silence were able to capture the essence of what Wes Craven was doing when it comes to cinematography. The way it's shot, I think it all looks really well. We've now fixed the luminescence error of the last movie, we'll say.
Yeah, I agree.
It does feel a little darker as well in this movie. Like it feels like they sucked a little bit of the light out, which I liked. I think the score was fine. I didn't notice it as much as the last movie, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And most people would say it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And the story's good. I mean, we get into like the actual requel or legendary sequel discussion because now it's a thing. And then they also get into the meta of elevated horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of it's, legacy sequels and stuff like that. I think the story's good. I do think, the fandom stuff as well for that being a toxic community it's true. It's definitely true. It's definitely
Yeah.
there. And there's no and I'm not on Instagram or anything like that, but the Scream fandom is quite toxic from what I hear on not on Instagram, but on X,
Yeah,
on
definitely
Twitter.
can be.
So
I agree. Yeah, I'm on all that, and I've seen it. So yeah, I get that. I think I agree with you here as well. I like the cinematography. I like the way this is shot. I think the lighting issue is fixed. I do like as well that it's a little bit darker. I'm with you again on the score. I didn't notice it really this time. I mean, I made no notes whatsoever about the score this time, which is fine. Story I like for the most part. There's a couple of issues I have. Towards the end, I think. But I definitely, I mentioned when we were talking about Scream 4 that it didn't feel like a Scream movie for a little while to me. And I agree with you. I think Radio Silence captured what Craven was doing because I feel like this feels like a Scream movie, especially when you look at, it doesn't have Kevin Williamson, it doesn't have Wes Craven. I think they did a really good job because I think it feels like a Scream movie, and I like the story and what they were doing for the most part. Um, yeah, let's get into the plot then, and we're going to start walking through this. Um, so with the opening, and we get Tara, Jenna Ortega's character. She gets the phone call. We get some conversation, and then we get Ghostface's attack on her. And if you hadn't seen the movie before, you would assume that she was killed here. Um, Give me your thoughts on this opening because, to be honest with you, I absolutely love it. This is probably my favorite opening outside of the original. I really like this opening. I think they found that horror tone again. They got back to it. It reminds me so much of the first one with the phone call and the conversation that's going on. I thought the attack and the battle between Tara and Ghostface was really good. I love this opening, but what are your thoughts?
I'm actually in the same boat. This would probably be up there in my top three
Okay.
for opening scenes. Um, like I think Jenna Ortega was one of the biggest stars, besides of course Courtney Cox and
Right.
David, but out of the new friend group, I think Jenna Ortega was probably the biggest star at the time. So to have her in the opening scene, it's kind of it's like, oh, we're just going to do the same tradition of killing off the big name title at the beginning.
Sure.
Keeping her alive, I think, was a huge diversion from what we've seen in the earlier franchises. So I actually
Right.
really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I do think that having a landline nowadays is just nobody has them. Like I haven't been to a house that has a landline and I don't know how long. So that seems a little unrealistic to me. Usually people get them if they're bundled, but
Right.
I don't think anybody's purposely trying to bundle that in there. What else? We also get the smart house locking device.
Yeah, I like that as well. Yeah, and the way it goes back and forth. So yeah.
Yeah, which can be locked and hacked and everything like that. I thought that was very clever.
Yep.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it actually. I thought it was a lot more tense than what I thought it was going to be. And there's a lot of callbacks in this movie, like fan service as well throughout
Sure.
throughout the film as in cinematography forms. I think she plays with a knife the same way Drew Barrymore does in
Yes.
the opening scene.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of callbacks throughout the entire movie, but I think that one was probably the best one. So yes, opening scene. It's one for the franchise.
Okay. You mentioned fan service, so I'm going to ask you your thoughts on that kind of thing because I've heard a lot of other podcasters, YouTubers, that kind of thing that seem to get really frustrated with the way horror has the whole fan service in it so much now. What are your thoughts on that kind of thing? Do you like that? Does it bother you? How do you feel about that?
I mean, it can work. I have no problem with fan service as
Okay.
long as it's done well. One of the her playing with the knife, I thought that
Right.
worked really well. Yeah, excellent. But one of the movies that had fan service where I thought didn't work well was with the new Alien Romulus movie. and that's when the android Andy says, stay away from her, you bitch, when he
Yeah.
jumped on the elevator, which was just like, wow, why? Where did that come from? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm a give and take. Like I like it. I like it and I don't like it. Like Evil Dead Rise also had a scene where she shot an eyeball into somebody's mouth, and I didn't even realize it was a fan service thing until like months later. And I was rewatching the movie, and I'm like, oh, that's Evil Dead 2, like written all over it. So like
Yeah.
if you don't notice it, I think it works better.
Yeah. I think I'm with you. Honestly, I actually kind of like the fan service thing. Now, there are times when I see it and I'm like, oh, why did they do that one? So it doesn't always work. But what it's done well, I kind of appreciate it. I like seeing things like that. So, uh, okay. So from there, then we get introduced to Tara's sister, Sam. She finds out that Tara's been attacked. She talks with her boyfriend, Richie. They end up going back to Woodsboro. And we kind of meet the friends group. We meet Wes, Liv, Amber, Chad, and Mindy. Um, we get a little bit of time with each one of them, and then we cut to the bar scene where we find out Liv's ex is there and he's causing trouble, and then we get his kill. Give me your thoughts here. We're meeting the friend group. I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit already, but we did cast and character. But then that first, the first kill that we actually get here with the boyfriend. Anything here that you liked, didn't like, anything like that?
I thought it was fine. Let me see. I did make a note about the friend group in small town and having it. Like, I'm not sure what exactly the size of Woodsboro would be, but I kind of picture it in the sense of like what my small town would have been like growing up. So like you'd have a very diverse group of friends. So like from different just social groups in general. You got Chad as the jock, and
Right.
Wes is like the good kid. He's got the mom who's the sheriff, and then I don't know if there is a movie buff in the Mindy's the movie buff, of course.
Yeah, Peter.
Mindy's the movie buff. Jenna Ortega is the sister of the characters, the main characters. So like, I think they're all fine. I just like that aspect, like it's a very diverse group of people. Because that's what my friend group really growing up was like. I had friends in every aspect of school.
Right.
So,
does it bother you at all? Because I like it as well. The only thing that I thought, and maybe it's just a small town, maybe Woodsboro's pretty small, but I think it's a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe a reach or a stretch. And again, this is not a huge dislike. I found myself wondering it a little bit. The fact that almost every character here has some kind of a tie to everything that's been going on. Because Chad and Mindy are kin to Randy. Wes is Sheriff Hicks' son. There's some other things mentioned here and there. I mean, we find out that there's a lot. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but do you think it's a reach to have so many tie-ins, or does it not bother you?
it doesn't really bother me. I mean,
Okay.
I'd say the only thing that maybe bothers me is that how did Randy's sister end up back here after being in California?
It's a good question. I don't know why she was in California. We talked about that before, but yeah.
Yeah, because that was just kind of random, and she was just in a random trailer, and now all of a sudden she's back in Woodsboro with 2 kids, and like, so like the age thing too is something else because so for Wes, like Judy Hicks would have had that kid at that time,
Yeah,
and it's never
exactly.
brought up in Scream 4. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden she has a son. So I don't know if there's like a significant time jump in between here. They never really say.
Yeah. The only thing because I was thinking the exact same thing, and I remember when I kind of was like looking at, the synopsis says 25 years after a streak of brutal murders, but when did that 25? Are we talking 25 years from the first set of attacks? Are we talking 25 years from a different set? Because the age of the kids for Wes and even Chad and Mindy doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And again, it's just kind of a small little thing, but that would have meant that, like you said, Judy had this kid back during that 4th movie. Chad and Mindy's mom would have had them pretty quickly after, I guess, the third one. You know, I mean, that would have, yeah, just like, where did all this come from? So, yeah, that I think that just a couple of little things like that I'm like, I don't know if I like that or not. But again, it's fine. It makes sense for what they're trying to do. It doesn't deter how I feel about the movie, but it is just something I think about.
Yeah, and I don't think it doesn't take away. I mean, if you start overthinking it, it can definitely take away from the movie. But
Yeah,
if you just kind of shut your brain off at that kind of aspect of the movie, it's not too bad. Like, it's nice having the younger generation be a
sure.
part of the older generation in some kind of sense or form. So
Right.
I didn't mind it myself.
Okay. The next thing I wanted to ask you about is, so from there we get back to Sam, and she starts having these visions of Billy. She also gets a call from Ghostface. But before we kind of get into what's going on there, what do you think about the Billy visions?
I mean, they're fine. I know a lot of people didn't really care or mind that he wasn't, like, CGI de-aged,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really look like they did anything at all. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they can make, who was the Curious Case of Benjamin Button? It's not Brad Pitt?
Yeah, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, they can make Brad Pitt look like an 85-year, 100-year-old man, but, like, you can't make a guy look 10 years younger in some kind of sense or form. I mean,
Yeah.
Disney's bringing people back from the dead. Like,
Right.
we like, I understand it can look real bad if you don't put money into it, but in the amount of screen time that he has, I feel like it's not too bad. And I know a lot of people say he didn't age bad, and I'm like, no, we didn't age bad. Of course not. Like, it's Skeet Ulrich, but at the same time, I'm like, he could have used a little help,
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it looks. I'll be honest, I don't think it looks great. Again, it's pretty minor. It doesn't bother me too much. I think the first time I saw it, it threw me off a little bit, and then upon a rewatch, I'm like, no, it's fine. It's not that big a deal. I like the idea. I mean, I like what they're trying to do as far as the story. I didn't think it looked great, but it could have been worse. So I'm kind of okay with it as well.
Yeah, like, did you ever watch Dexter?
A little bit. I never got into that like a lot of people did, but I have seen it. I mean, I've watched some of it.
Okay, they basically pulled like a Dexter when they make him like 17 or something like that, and they would just give him a big wig with long hair, and they'd just be like,
Yeah,
"You're 17 now, shave," like, here you go, get into character.
yeah.
But that's a TV show. I understand that. This is a
Right.
$40 million movie,
Yeah,
or something like that, right?
yeah.
20?
Let's see exactly, but yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, it makes sense.
24.
Yeah, 24 million. Yeah.
I mean, throw some CGI in there. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, I get that. So Sam's having the visions. She gets a call from Ghostface, and then she gets attacked. Sheriff Hicks ends up questioning Sam. Sam ends up revealing the truth to Tara, who gets very upset with her. But we find out that their mom had an affair with Billy. Billy ended up being Sam's dad, and Sam ended up being the one to reveal this, which ended up causing a divorce. Sam and Richie end up going to see Dewey. We find out he and Gail are divorced, and of course, then Dewey ends up reaching out to Sydney, and he also texts Gail to let her know. Yeah, kind of give me your thoughts here on this setup. We're finding out, that Sam is Billy's daughter. We've already talked about Dewey and Gail. We think that was a good option to have them divorced. I think I was a little taken back maybe by how upset Tara was with Sam about the situation. I mean, I understand being somewhat frustrated, but at the same time, you've just been attacked. She's come to see you. I don't know. I thought that was a little overdone. Not that Jenna Ortega did a bad job. I just thought that was a lot. I felt like I couldn't imagine her being that angry about it. But I mean, I've never been in the situation, so maybe. But yeah, your thoughts here as we continue to kind of just get everything set up, really.
I think Sam's reveal about the being Skeet's dad was all right. I kind of like that aspect. I kind of like where they lean with it as well.
Yeah.
Telling Tara, I thought was fine. Like, I don't know, she's a teenage girl. She just went through a traumatic experience.
Okay.
All she needs is more shit to be dumped on top of her, right? Just
That's
come
fair.
support me. Like,
Yeah.
hang out. They're like, there's no need for anything else. Like, you're here, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Where their mom is, I have no fucking clue in this movie.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I know they bring it
Yeah.
up at some point, being stuck over across the pond, as they say, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just never really brought back. But I do like this ghost face because he takes a lot of like chances in this
Mhm.
movie, especially that first hospital scene. Like afterwards, after they're
Yeah.
done with their blowout, I thought was pretty good, and kind of like nowhere is safe. Like it's not going to be a party thing. It's not going
Right.
to be wherever. It's not going to be night. It's just going to be whenever he feels like striking.
Yeah.
Which I
thought
thought
was
was
kind of
really
a continuation from 4, because we talked about that in 4 a little bit, and I feel like this is a pretty aggressive ghost face. I like this as well, so I'm with you there.
yeah.
Did you put too much thought into the fact that Billy must have had this affair back when he was still seeing Sydney during the first movie, and we just pulled that out of nowhere?
No, I never really thought twice. I've never been on the Billy like hype train as like
Okay.
a good looking hot boyfriend that I would want.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I don't
Fair.
understand the infatuation with him.
Yeah. I get
That a lot of women have. So I was like, no, I don't care.
Okay.
I was like, I was like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense to me that he would probably do something like that because he's clearly able to murder people, so he's clearly able to cheat. You know?
Yeah. That's very true. Yeah, and apparently,
Yeah.
I mean, if you think back to that first one, he was getting frustrated because they weren't doing anything anyway. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense. So, yeah.
Exactly. Like how that was. I guess the biggest thing would be like how that was able to be kept a secret for 5 movies, but
Yeah.
again, it didn't bother me. I just try not to overthink these kinds of things like that, and nobody else seems surprised either. Like
Right.
Sydney's not surprised. Gail doesn't seem shocked.
Yeah.
Dewey was definitely not surprised. And even like one of the characters say that like Sam's mom was like telling people drunk at the bar or whatever. So like I think it clearly did get out at some point.
Yeah, I agree. And I do like, before we move on to the next little section there, I also like the way they had it where Dewey calls Sydney and kind of tells her what's going on, but then he just texts Gail and you kind of see him fighting with, exactly what to even say to her. I thought that was well done. I thought that was, really kind of showed us where Dewey's character was. So even though that was a minor little thing, I like the way they did that also.
David Arquette brings like the acting powerhouse to this movie, in my opinion. Like this is his most dynamic role.
I agree.
While keeping this like keeping the heart of the character alive. Yeah, just put poor fucking Dewey, man. That was my note. Because like he feels so bad. He's a nice guy, and you're kind of like if he was gonna end up leaving Gail at some point, or they were gonna split, that he would kind of maybe get with Hicks was kind of alluded to in the last film, and I'm happy they chose not to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did enjoy that. But then this is where we get into the continuity errors of the next film, though, or of the next. It'd be 2 films, I guess. We get how's Mark doing on the phone with Sydney, and how are the 2 kids?
Yeah.
Oh, but guess what? In the new movie, she's only got 1, and she's not dating Mark or not married to Mark no more.
Yeah, I thought about that as well. The kid part more than anything. I'm like, what happened to the other kid? Like, I want to know what's going on here. So yeah, I am with you there as well. And I agree with you completely. Like my note for this, I didn't write down. You said you were a dumb poor guy talking about Dewey, but my note here was that I felt like this was David Arquette's best performance in this franchise. I thought he was incredible in this. He does such a great job of exactly like you said, keeping the character of Dewey, but he's added something to it. And I thought his performance was fantastic here because, as we've talked about some of the other movies, I haven't always been a huge fan of the Dewey character, but he's fantastic in this.
Yeah, no, I think he's great. Like there's a moment where he's talking to Gail and he goes like, she's like, why aren't you in uniform? And he's like, I'm been sheriff. I had to retire. And she's like, since when? And he's like, since they asked me to. I was like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough.
Like that sucks, man. And you can tell it's like eating him, and he feels embarrassed and ashamed of himself to be able to tell that to her. But
Yeah,
yeah, he really like nails every bit of this performance to a T.
yeah, I completely agree. We then cut to the Meeks home. This is where we find out that Martha is Chad and Mindy's mom. Sam reveals the truth to everybody else here now, and we kind of get into. We also find out Vince was some relation to Stu, from his kill previously. Mindy starts talking about requels, and we go through that whole conversation there. Sam ends up having some more visions, and then we get Sheriff Hicks getting the phone call after we get some interaction between her and Wes, and then Ghostface killing Sheriff Hicks and killing Wes. What were your thoughts on these two kills?
Well done. I think they were both well done kills. I mean, I put like, man, how do you feel for Judy? Like, it's still intense getting a phone call and then having to rush back home and not knowing what you're going to walk into.
Yeah.
And then, her biting the dust, like in the street, basically.
Yeah, in the daylight. Yeah.
Yeah, in the broad daylight is crazy.
Yeah.
I like the shimmer. And somebody said in one of the streams I was in last time that they took the Ghostface like shimmer away off of his cloak, but it was pretty present in this movie.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the sequence of Wes walking through the kitchen and like kind of bumming around the house. I think all the camera work was really well done for that segment. And it's like you're waiting too. Like I think there's even like fake music cues.
Yeah.
I believe that kind of like when he opens the fridge door or whatever. And then nothing happens. I'm glad they didn't false jump scare us, because then all of a sudden when it pans to Ghostface just running right at him, it's like it gets you, it scares you actually.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not an overly all gory kill, but it's pretty rough to watch.
Yeah, it's a brutal kill. Because I like the fact that not only do you first with Sheriff Hicks, I remember the first time I saw the movie, I did not see that kill coming. Like that shocked me when she's running up to the house and then suddenly Ghostface is there and kills her. So that one really surprised me, and I thought was fine. But with Wes's kill, like you said, it's not that it's so much gory, but I think it's really brutal because I like the fact, I like the shot we get where, you've seen the knife go in, but then you also see it coming back out, like in another area of his face. I like that shot. I think that's so cool. So yeah, it's a great kill in my opinion.
Yeah, same. It's just, it's heartbreaking. It's slow. And this kid clearly felt like the most innocent one of everyone. Is you can see him reaching for his taser or whatever in the bowl, and he's just not getting it. Oh, it's rough.
Yeah, it's a brutal kill, but it's a really good one, I think.
The cops fucking suck in this town too.
They really do.
she literally tells the other police officers to meet her at her house ASAP, and then they just never show up.
Yeah, nobody's in a hurry at all.
No.
Gale arrives. We get some interaction there, like you were talking about, between Gale and Dewey. Power goes out there at the hospital. Tara, she's freaking out. She ends up finding like a dead security guard or a dead police officer or something there, and then we get Ghostface attacking Richie and Tara before Sam and Dewey arrive, and then we get Ghostface versus Dewey. Dewey shoots him. They all get ready to leave, but Dewey goes back, and then we get Dewey's big kill. Give me your thoughts here on this whole set.
I think it's all right. Dewey and Gale's performance is pretty well done, especially since they have been divorced in real life for quite some time by now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like this was almost like a reconciliation, maybe like some kind of I don't know, coming of terms with it. Maybe I'm not sure how I would do that, but cathartic. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Cathartic for both characters and actors.
Sure.
Let's see. I think the biggest issue I have with this sequence, because I do think it's a good between Tara and Ghostface, and Dewey as well, is empty hospitals, man, in horror movies. It's such a bad trope.
It really is.
And I'm so tired of them. Like, at least they showed one dead officer, but at the same time, there'd be like 25, 30 nurses on staff, you would think.
Yeah.
A couple doctors maybe, and it's like, what, the whole floor is fucking empty all of a sudden? Like nobody just needs to be on that floor. Where's the receptionist for that floor? Just
Yeah.
the cop was there apparently. So
Yeah.
that front.
I'm with you 100%. I was just talking to somebody about that the other day, from Halloween 2 through so many other movies. This one,
Yeah.
the empty hospital thing has gotten so old. So I'm with you 100%. Now, I still like the scene, but I'm with you 100%. I'm so over that. Like, I don't, because it's just so not. I mean, I've been in hospitals before. That's not there's people all over the place.
Yep.
So yeah, why this happens in movies, I don't know. But I like the interaction in the attack on Richie and Tara, and then Dewey's kill. Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people hated to see Dewey go. I think it was. I hate the fact that he was so sad and depressed towards the end of his life, but I think it's good that we took out a legacy character. I like the kind of part there where, you know, Ghostface says that, you know, it's an honor that while killing Dewey. For some reason, I really like that line. And I don't think Dewey's kill. I don't know. I know it bothered a lot of people. It didn't. I don't know. I hate to say this. It didn't bother me. I thought it worked. I mean, yeah, I guess it sucks for the character, and I do hate, like I said, that he was so depressed at the end of his life. But I just think it works. Did it bother you the first time you saw it?
No, it did shock me. I think just because it is a legacy character, but I do think that it's justified in that Dewey was doing what Dewey does best, and that's protecting other people. That's wanting to help. That's literally what his character is all about throughout, is putting himself ahead of other people to try to save lives and help people. So I was like, you know, I didn't mind it at all.
Okay.
Do I wish it was Dewey? No, of course not. I would have much rather seen Gale go, but yeah, and yeah, I like the I also like the line too. It was an honor.
Yeah.
I think what most people have issue with this is the fact that, like, a tiny little, you know, 85 to 110 girl was the one that killed him.
Yeah.
It would have made a lot more sense if it was Richie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I don't care how many extra platforms you put on your boots, it's not going to make your overall body weight heavier.
Right.
So, yeah. That's probably the biggest issue with this, but other than that, I think it's fine.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and that's one of those things, kind of like you were saying earlier, on some of the things that you just try not to think about. That's kind of the way I am with that, because I'm the same way. It makes no sense who this actually is killing him, but okay. I mean, it is what it is. That's fine. And then, of course, we get the scene where Gale finds out, you know, that Dewey's been killed. Sydney arrives, so we get some time between Sydney and Gale. We also get some more time between Sam and Tara, and then between Sydney and Sam. So just a lot of character interaction here. Sam, Tara, and Richie do what people should, or at least you think are going to do, what more people should do in horror movies. They decide to leave. Like, they're going to get out of there, which I'm always like, yeah, why don't more people do that? But that's fine. But then they have to go to Amber's first to get Tara's inhaler. There's a party going on there. I kind of like the basement scene that we get there between Amber and Mindy. I thought that was a fun scene. I enjoyed it. Of course, we get Chad going outside to look for Liv, and he gets attacked by Ghostface and stabbed multiple times. Richie makes everybody leave the house. Kind of give me your thoughts here, as we've got this whole setup now at Amber's, the party going on, interaction between some of the characters, and Chad's attack.
I mean, bringing Sydney into the mix was fine. I do think that it almost feels like she's obligated to be in a Scream movie anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we didn't need her inclusion in this film. Like, I think the phone call would have been fine. I would have rather have her gotten there too late, maybe. It just seems like she was just kind of there in the nick of time.
Yeah.
And then she's kind of, they almost take over the movie. You know, they don't do it quite as bad as what I remembered them doing it.
Right.
But they're there, they're giving out information about the killers and stuff like that. And they're getting some kind of raunchy dialogue as well. I remember there's a sequence where Gail asks if Sydney has a gun, and she's like, "I'm Sydney fucking Prescott. Of course I have a gun."
Yeah.
Or like it was just like unneeded.
Yeah.
Um, what else? The party thing I think was really good. Really well done. I think it was a little weird that they just needed to pick up an inhaler and then they just decided to kick everybody out of the fucking house. But
Yeah, why
um,
Ricky did that, I don't know. But that's well, I mean, I
yeah,
guess I do know actually. But yeah, it was a little odd. Yeah,
yeah, I do like the interaction between Chad and Liv there, and they're making out, and she's like, "I think I'm ready," like let's go do it because he's clearly like bugging her, and that was like a jock trait that was brought up at the start of the film.
yeah,
And he's like, "No, I don't think so." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not 100% sure that you're not the killer. So
yeah,
we're just gonna stay down here where there's lots of people." And she gets clearly upset
right,
because like the whole movie is basically trashing her and saying that she's too boring and dumb to be the killer.
yeah,
Um, so I did like that. I think the Find My Phone too was a pretty tense sequence. I mean, of course you put that on and it goes both ways. They can
yeah,
track you can track them.
right.
Um, this is again some multiple stab wounds that you miraculously survive. Not as
Yeah,
bad as the
'cause
next fucking movie, but this
right.
this one was fine. I can let this one go.
Yeah, my thought here pretty much was okay. We killed Dewey, so Chad's the new Dewey. That was kind of my thought process. Here's what we were going to start doing. But yeah, again, I like you said, I like a lot of the interaction there. I thought the interaction between Chad and Liv was fun. As I mentioned, I like the stuff in the basement going on between Amber and Mindy. I thought that was fun. Um,
Do you think it would have been cool if uh Amber just like fucking killed her right there?
you know, that's interesting because I had never thought about that until I just watched this movie and again recently, and kind of. I mean, it would have given away your reveal for later, but I think it might would have been a better reveal now. Um, I know a lot of people probably would have been upset about Mindy getting killed here, but yeah, I think that would have been a better way to reveal Amber is just she does it now, out of costume, everything. Let's do it. Something different here. I think that would have been pretty cool. I completely agree. Do you think
Yeah,
so or
like
no? Yeah,
I think it would have been a pretty decent reveal over what we got.
right.
I do like that. Like she's just so unhinged that she sees an opportunity and she's just gonna take it.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think I really would have liked that if that did happen, and I think it also would have changed up the formula of how we get reveals, so it would have been a little bit more shocking, and especially
okay.
since the whole dialogue is like, what if you're the killer? I followed you down here, but like, oh, what if I'm the killer and you followed me down here?
Yeah,
This little back and forth cute shit
yeah,
going on, and then it just
right.
would have been like cool if it was like, bam, I actually am the fucking killer.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree. That would have been really cool. I think again, I think I would have liked that better. I mean, I did like their interaction because then I almost feel like when you find out, that Amber is the other killer, it's almost like Amber really just kind of toying with her down there and playing around and having fun with it. But one of the things that I also noticed as we were going through this is, for some reason, I thought, and I don't know why I felt this way. The first time I saw this movie, I absolutely loved it. I'll just go ahead and say that part now. I loved it the first time I saw it. Um, the second time I watched it, I did not like it as much. And when I got ready to rewatch it again, then the other day for you and I to talk about this, as I was getting ready, for some reason I was thinking Mindy's character annoyed me, but she really doesn't. I don't know why I thought she did. Maybe I was just in a weird mood when I watched it the second time because I like Mindy's character here, and so again, that maybe that's part of why I like the interaction. And I don't know, a lot of the things I like about Mindy are things that you told me I should have liked about somebody in our previous
Kirby.
discussion. Yeah. Yeah, I hated to say that, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really like Mindy here. So yeah, I was enjoying a lot of this. I did think the inhaler thing was kind of crazy, but at the same time, like I said, the fact that we thought that was their plan was to just leave. I mean, nobody ever does that in a horror movie. So it was nice to see somebody being a little bit more logical, I think there. But yeah, like you
Yeah,
said, Richie makes everybody leave. Then we kind of get some fun back and forth between Mindy and Richie a little bit. And then Sydney realizes that Amber's house is Stu's old house. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about. Are there too many tie-ins to the characters? I don't know. I see what they're doing here. I mean, I guess I get it. And that probably does add something to it. But at the same time, I'm like, really? Like, how did nobody know this? Like, if all these people are related to or know or something, somebody, how did no one realize that Amber's house was Stu's old house? Like, how did nobody know that?
It's a good question because I also don't have the answer to that question. I mean, like her parents would have got that house like dirt cheap. You know what I mean? Like if they moved in there right after '96,
Right.
they would have got that house dirt cheap because nobody would have wanted to have lived in that house. But yeah, the fact that everybody knows about like what happened and nobody seems to know, like I feel like this house would have been an old, like the Myers house. You know what I mean? It would have been left alone. It would have been a dilapidated. It would have been like treated like a haunted house anymore. You know, abandoned. Nobody would be there, which would have been another fine reason for there to be a party there because everybody knows nobody's going to go there to check it out because it's abandoned.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I just feel like of all the characters, I would think Mindy and Chad would know after Randy being involved there. But to me, the one person in particular, and I don't know, I guess she didn't. Now I'm finding a reason to doubt myself. To start with, I thought, how could Sam, of all people, not have known with her dad being Billy? But I guess if she didn't know this friend group, then maybe that does explain it. I was really wondering how Sam didn't know, but I guess that would explain
Sam does know the friend group because she babysat them all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. I'm glad you brought that back up. So, yeah, if anybody should have known, it should have been Sam.
Yeah, you would have thought so, especially since she's older, right? And
yeah,
probably would have done more research for herself. Like I'm assuming these kids were probably coddled a little bit, like away from the situation, like from the information about what went down. But like eventually they're going to find out anyways.
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely.
Sam definitely should have known.
Yeah, I agree. Ghostface ends up attacking Mindy, which is kind of funny the way they did that one. But Sam comes in and saves her. The group reunites, and then we finally get the reveal because just out of nowhere, Amber shoots Liv, and she's revealed to be the other Ghostface. I do like the shot though we're talking about the house where Sydney and Gale show up, and they're kind of standing outside the house looking at it. I kind of like that shot. I thought that was pretty cool. And then it just gets kind of chaotic for a little bit. But before we get into kind of the finale here, any thoughts on Liv's kill, on the actual reveal we did get from Amber? Did you like the shot of Sydney and Gale outside the house? Any thoughts there before we?
Yeah, so the Mindy aspect, I just have mainly I think it's a really funny watching what's going on TV and then like the exact same scene playing out back to back. I thought it was really a lot of fun. But the footage that was used, I mean, you couldn't have found a bigger actor for Randy. Like, fuck no. Everybody else gets top tier actors except for Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a little ridiculous, but I do like that scene. And again, as much as I like criticized Amber's reveal here earlier, I actually like this reveal as well. Okay. So I think it could have went 50-50 on that, but I did like Amber just pulling out the gun and just shooting her, playing just straight up. I thought it was really funny. I thought it was a decent reveal. Okay. But yeah, and bringing Sydney and Gale back, I mean, sure. I mean, you got a new movie. It's literally a remake title of the last one. It's called Scream.
Yeah,
having the legacy characters back works. Especially with a shot like that, having them there, especially with the shot of the movie too. I'm just gonna skip right to the end of the movie where we get the reporter outside the house and it does that pan up with the music and it's just full view of the house. It's totally looks like a set though.
It does.
I never noticed it in the first movie, so I think they just clearly had to rebuild this whole set. Because I was like, fuck, does that ever look like a set? But I mean, to a T, it looks exactly like the original house, pretty much, just updated. Yeah. So yeah, I do like that they brought it back to the house.
Okay. Amber shoots Gail. We've got a lot going on here now. So Amber shoots Gail. Sydney ends up getting another call. We get to reveal that Richie is the second Ghostface. And basically here, and this is one of the things I struggle with, and I know you mentioned it at the beginning, but basically the motive for Amber and Richie being that they just wanted a new Stab movie. They didn't like the way some of the last ones went, and they wanted a new movie, so they were doing it themselves. I get it. We're talking about the toxic fandom, but I don't know. I don't like the motive. I know what they're trying to do, but I don't know. It doesn't work great for me. But Terry ends up coming in and attacking Amber. We've got a lot going on there. We've got Tara and Amber battling. We've got Sam and Richie battling. Sydney and Gail in the mix, and they're getting involved, and they end up setting Amber on fire. Sam is fighting Richie, and she gets another vision of her dad before she stabs Richie multiple times and then slits his throat. She also shoots him. Tara ends up shooting Amber. We then find out Mindy's alive, Chad's alive, everybody's alive basically except for Dewey. And Sam says her goodbyes and moves on. And Gail mentions that she wants to write a book about Dewey. We get another brief vision, and Sam and Tara leave. Give me kind of your thoughts here on this finale, on this wrap up, on all the different fights that are going on, the battles. I love how aggressive Sam was in killing Richie. I did really enjoy that, and then slitting his throat after stabbing him multiple times. But give me your thoughts on this finale and how this all wraps up.
Oh man, there's a lot to unpack in this last probably 15, 20
yeah,
minutes.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. I will say that I like Sydney entering the house and just kind of shooting in every door that's closed. Yeah. Giving people warnings, but like she's like, I'm not fucking around. If you're in a door, you better come out, kill her or not. You're gonna get shot. I do like that.
Yeah.
It just makes sense for her character. Yeah, Gail and Sydney both get stabbed or shot. Gail gets shot, Sydney gets stabbed.
Yeah.
I like the reveal of the toxic fandom. They talked about how Scream 5 or Stab 5 deals with time travel, and there's something to do with Scream 6 is actually the beginning of Scream. Stab 6 is actually the beginning of Stab 5 or something like that. So it's all mixed up. And then I think there's 8 films. I think by now there was 8. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
But the last film they took it to being very meta, or not meta, but elevated. So they put in a bunch of dramatic, which is what they were upset about. But the one scene that you do get from the movie in that YouTube clip, which with the Dead Meat YouTube channel, it's Ghostface has a chrome mask on and he's running a flamethrower.
Yeah,
that movie looked the furthest thing from elevated, in my personal opinion. But
yeah, I agree.
Fandom can be toxic. Look at the internet has been such a tool for fans and just community coming together and just shackling studios. It's insane. I don't know if you remember, this is a big controversy, but for a totally different genre. I don't remember if you've seen the Sonic trailer, the original Sonic the Hedgehog trailer.
Yeah.
The first one where it looked brutal.
Yeah, I do remember that, actually. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody got pissed, and guess what? Yeah. They totally rechanged the movie. Yeah. I think fandom Star Wars fans are also quite toxic. They just can't figure out exactly what they want.
Yeah.
From Disney, it seems like. But I like the motive. And you know what? The best way to make a new Scram movie is to give a real life material, right? So it makes sense within that world. So I really enjoyed the motive. I thought it was well done. And having Richie to be the reveal makes sense. Why is this 30-something-year-old? I don't know how old these high school kids are supposed to be either, but they met on a forum. They're calling each other babe. It's a little weird. Like, you have Marissa Barrera there. Like, what else do you need? Like, give me a break, dude. Let's see. What else did I throw down?
Mindy or Chad, one should have died. Let me throw that out there. We didn't need to let both of them live.
It's so hard because you don't get to see much of Chad's death. You get a few stabs, and then the car comes, and then he runs away, right? And Mindy's is just a single shoulder stab.
Sure.
So like both for sure could. I mean, I really enjoy Chad's character in the next film, from what I remember.
Sure.
So I do think they saved his character for a good purpose. And yeah, I think one of them, I mean, they're both Meeks. I mean, it would make sense to keep both of them alive since Randy survived the first film as well.
Yeah, I just think there's not a lot of there's not really a lot of consequences from this, from this finale, I guess is why it bothers me a little bit, because other than Liv, and then the two killers, nobody dies in all of this at the end. With everything that's going on, all of the stabbings and the shootings and just the chaos that's going on, one person other than the killers is all that died. And I'm just, to me, that hurts it a little bit. It's not huge, but somebody else should have went. Gale would have been great.
I mean, I think that's kind of what this whole franchise has been, has it not? It's been keeping the bringing people back.
Yeah, now that you say that, I'm thinking back to the very first one, and did anybody other than the killers and Tatum? I guess nobody else died other than Tatum. So yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah, and they're setting up for the future of the franchise, right? Like, this is a reboot and a passing of the torch movie, essentially, to a new young cast of characters.
Right.
So that makes sense, and I think that it had been whittled down pretty good at this point. Like, you only follow 4 in the next movie, and I think that gives them a lot of time to focus on that core group and give them a lot more screen time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't mind that the 4 of them survived.
Okay.
I do think that,
and you made a good point.
Yeah, I think I made a note too. I can't remember if I brought this up, but like, Ghostface is like, when he stabs somebody, like, he's like stabbing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, in like the Halloween Rob Zombie movies, he has like this huge, like, big monstrous swing.
Yeah.
Ghostface is like quick, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's getting multiple shots in seconds.
Right.
So I really enjoyed that aspect.
Yeah.
I like Amber getting caught on fire too, like getting hit in the bottle with hand sanitizer, because I think this movie was shot during COVID, right? So
yeah.
Fucking hand sanitizer, and then light this bitch up.
Yeah.
I like that. I think Richie's a good killer too. I really like David Arquette and what he can switch to being like this charming, lovable goofball to a total maniacal asshole. Essentially, all he needs is like that maniacal, shitty, corporate laugh, and the dude's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I enjoy the way he goes out too. I think Marissa Barrera, like, again, this is a visceral stabbing sequence with Marissa Barrera, and the throat slit was good. I do like she stabs him first, like through the mouth.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. Let's see, and Sydney and Gale, like at the end of the movie, like, they're fine. It's like, it's like, oh yeah, we're cool, dude. Go live your life. Like, you'll get better at some point. Don't worry about it. Look at us. We just got shot and stabbed, and we're cool. They're like totally superheroes at this point in the franchise. I remember them being shoehorned a lot more in this movie, to the point where I thought they really took over this movie. I'm happy that it's not exactly how I remembered.
Right.
But at the same time, I almost think that you could have kept one and taken the other one out.
Yeah.
Like, just totally from the story. Kind of what they do for the next film, but the next film is plagued with its own problems. But yeah, I kind of would have liked it if they just would have just left them out of it completely. Maybe have them show up after when everything's already been done and over with. Like, people can't just uproot their lives for something like this at all the time. To Gale, it makes sense because her news people would definitely get her there.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what Sydney's doing for work? Like, is she a doctor now? Is she a nurse? Like, is she a lawyer? Who knows? Last time I know, she wrote a book. So who knows exactly what her career path is like. I'm excited to see what's revealed in Scream 7, I guess.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I think I agree with everything that you were just saying. And again, maybe it's just because I'm such a fan of Neve Campbell, because I'm kind of torn. I see everything that you were saying. I like the fact that she's in this because I won't lie, I missed her in the next one. I miss seeing Sydney in Scream 6. But at the same time, I see what you're saying here too. And I can see where her not being in this or Gale not being in this could have done something. I don't know how you could leave Gale out since you were going to kill Dewey, but at the same time, yeah, I 100% agree with a lot of the points that you're making there. Yeah, I feel like, well, before, I was going to ask you as far as a rating, but anything else you want to share before we rate this? Because I'm still back and forth between a number in my head, so I'm curious. Anything else you want to mention, though, before we try to rate this?
No, I don't think I have anything else on my notes.
Okay.
I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. I have also been debating on a rating for this movie. I haven't been able to kind of pinpoint it, especially since I rated the last one so high.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I know I've pointed out some things in this that bother me, similar to what I did with the fourth one. But again, they're all small things. They're just little nitpicks, and none of them take away from my enjoyment of the movie. I actually really enjoy this. I think this is pretty good. It's got its problems, but I like most of the kills. I agree with you. I think Richie is great as a killer. I wasn't a huge fan of the Amber character in general, so her being one of the killers was just like, oh, okay, it's Amber, that's fine. But I mean, even the way they did it was okay. I thought it was a good move to. I mean, I feel bad for Dewey, but a good move to kill him. I just feel like this movie had so much more. My problem with Scream 4 was it didn't feel like a Scream movie for the first 30 to 40 minutes, and then it got better for me. This one I feel like felt like Scream the whole time. There's issues, there's problems, but there's some cool fan service. There's some great kills. I like the way Ghostface does things. I really like this. I don't like it as well as I like the first two, but I think I like it better than 3 and 4. So I'm going to go with a 7.5. I'll go 7.5 for this one. How about you?
Oh yeah, that's not bad. We're not too far off from what I just randomly wrote down.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree with a lot of what you said. I do have issues with it, but I do think it is a serviceable Scream film by all means. Ghostface is a little more vicious in his actions. You know, you finally get a legacy character getting killed off. I think it's quite shocking. I think the motivations make sense for the killers. It looks really well done. Acting's top notch from everybody. I wasn't quite a 7.5. I'm just right there. I actually decided to go with a 7.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's a little. Honestly, I was afraid you might go a little lower, so I'm glad that you at least got to the 7 there. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like this one. I think this is really good. And was a step back up and an improvement. And I like the new characters that we get. Now I'm very curious. I know we're going to be getting back together next week to do Scream 6, but I'm already curious for your thoughts on that one as well. So yeah, this is fun. I'm enjoying going through this franchise, and now we've just got one more before the new one hits theaters. This has been fun. Thank you so much for coming on again. I appreciate it.
Hey, of course. Anytime you need me, Sean, I'm more than happy to come on.
I didn't give you the opportunity, and I don't know why, because we just talked about it. I guess maybe last night when we were getting ready for that one. But go ahead and take a moment to again promote your channel. Talk about anything you guys might have coming up in the near future.
Of course, I am one half of Our Life in Horror, Brendan, and we do horror movie reviews, a lot of physical media news. We do physical media hauls, announcement videos. What else do we do? We do other stuff. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But the following Thursday, so the next Thursday on your calendar will be me and Rob and Kaylee from That Horror Couple are going to be discussing The Wretched at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Our Life in Horror's channel. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. I remember really enjoying it, and this has been a movie I've been really looking forward to revisiting. So, and I don't know if they've seen it, so it's not a slasher movie, so I'm not sure if they'll enjoy it, but
Yeah.
I like to put people out of their wheelhouse.
Yeah. All right. Very cool. Yeah, definitely check that out. Next week I have a episode by myself talking about Sleepaway Camp from 1983. Also, Mike and Serial Voices of the Mausoleum. He's going to be back on. We're talking Terrifier 2, and then Brendan will be back, and we're talking Scream 6. So that's everything I've got coming next week. So yeah, if you haven't done so yet, hit subscribe so you don't miss anything. Like, share, hype, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this movie. If you like it, don't like it, where you think it ranks in the franchise. Follow me on social media, pretty much on everything out there: Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, X, Letterboxd. Yeah, I've got everything. So follow me on social media. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Brendan, thank you again for being here. I'll be seeing you again in a few days. So thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. It's always great when you're on.
Absolutely. I have a blast as always.
Very good. All right. Once again, everyone, thank you so much. I will see you soon.